Hey, back. Back. Okay, at 11:15, we'll be getting on your stuff, okay? Alrighty? Alright, go get your hairbrush and all that stuff. Good morning. I'm gonna wait just a minute here. So, I actually ended up getting some coffee from Norway. European coffee is, it's good. Of course, French roast is also good though, but it's good. Anywho, good morning, guys. How are you all doing? So, hmm. so I want to go over some stuff, but before I do, I kind of want to let you guys know a little bit about my routine as to what we're doing at Little People of the World and why that there will be a lot more videos just like what we're doing today. And well, I've been doing a lot more. I've been practically trying to get everyone to wake up to see what's going on in the world of just LPs and I think that here in America and a couple of other countries that we're rather selfish and too self-indulging when it comes to the fact of third world countries and what's really going on across the world. Especially now, let's just say not just for those that are. Hey, Sasha, how you doing? And I'm not just talking about those with dwarfism, but increasingly the problem is with what we deal with is dwarfism, skeletal dysplasia on all forms. You know, there's 400 different types of dwarfism, but there's hundreds more of different types of skeletal dysplasia that are a problem. I need to put these down, sorry, because I'm going to end up jingling these the whole time. Um, so there's a massive amount of different types of issues when it comes to the disabled people in third world countries, when it comes to those that are in like the Middle East, parts of Asia, and even parts of the jungle, which is something that I'm looking forward to doing. I'll be traveling. We're going to be doing a huge thing in regards to this. I plan on going to as many places as I can, and I don't care how far in I go, but I'm probably going to be insulting quite a few people, quite a few governments, and that's fine by me. I do not care. I've been warned several times when I go to the Middle East what not to do, and hey, get ready for some major setbacks. Like I could even get arrested because of my mouth, and it could happen. I'm not afraid of that. I'm not. I'm not afraid of getting arrested in a country that literally doesn't give a crap about people, and they either ridicule them, they slander them, or they dictate their lives to how they could just be human, which doesn't make sense. When you have one planet to live on, why are we sitting here dictating the lives of humanity in a way that they cannot feel free? Now, those that have dwarfism, for instance, or any disability, it is extremely much harder for them because, like I've said before, you have countries where they don't even they don't even let them out of their house because they're so afraid of what their government will say, what officers have said. There's a little person that right now we need your guys' help, and if you live if you live in the Asian cultured areas, there is a little person that was just killed for walking down the street, and in my belief, I think that it was the two officers. I believe that the government officers, the police, killed him because no one is able to verify past that videotape of what happened because all of a sudden it's all gone. There's nothing else there on that station there. So there is no little person showing after in any of that. You see him walking away, you see two officers looking down at him, and then follow him, and then he's dead. And what I don't get is we have all these organizations, and this is my problem. This is one of the things that I have a big problem with. Why is everyone shutting up about this? And guess what? It hasn't really made the news. It hasn't been discussed that much. It's not even being discussed in the LPA, LPUK, LPBC, Little People of Australia. It's not being said anywhere. And I've waited to see what would happen. I've waited to see if there was going to be any kind of enforcement of, hey, we need to do these things, but there's not. And these are the issues that I'm saying. really, really mattered. We have a lot of places where little people are. I'm trying to be. I'm trying. And, and again, Sash, there's a lot of them that just don't like that I'm speaking. And it's really sad that we have little people that actually hate that a little person is speaking for everyone. And it's kind of stupid. Okay? We have little people that are getting killed for no reason. And and these countries, these officers, these police, they're getting away with it. And in our own country, we don't see that with little people, but with the racism and everything else going on, don't act like we don't exist and stuff's not happening. I'm going to try not to cuss this time at all. I was very heated yesterday, and those of you that have watched my video, I apologize. But we really have a crisis that is going on across our globe that nobody's paying attention to. This little person was minding his own business, had a shopping bag, was walking around, and he was in a substation area and was killed, literally killed. And no one, not LPA, not LPUK, not LP Australia, no one is saying anything or doing anything about it. This is a problem. Okay? I will tell you right now that what I do is we find these things out. I have to save every penny I can with what I do with my family, because I pay for everything out of my own pocket when it comes to this company. Not always easy, but I don't mind it. And you guys have hundreds of thousands of dollars of endorsements all the time. One lawyer, cheap, done. One investigation, able to be done. One stand-up to go over there and say, we are taking a stand for this being against humanity. Done. Easy. We can do these things. Thank you, Sash. I appreciate that. And I'm trying. But all of our organizations, this is exactly why I got so fed up with the factors of everyone that's spread out, but not circling in. We are not a circle in a country. Like, okay, our little group is hut here. We don't have a flag for the United States. Oh, well, this is our clan. This is our, no, what's it called? A clan, right? Or a guild. We're not a guild of little people. LPA, LPUK. We only help what's in our tribe. We only help what's in Australia's tribe. No, we're not a tribe of people that are, this is what we do right here. Okay, you want to talk about your inner city areas, your major cities, and speak and do things, great, but you're literally still not getting the focus that there are third world countries, there are people, like for instance, in Africa, I've stated this before, in Africa, I talked to this woman the other day, I could actually pull it up, I could show you the messages, it tore my heart out. She is too ashamed to bring out her son who has dwarfism because she does not want them beating her with sticks and hurting her son for being a little person. That's pretty screwed up. Well, and if any of you say, well, that's in their culture, no, that's in their ignorance, because this is a problem. And we are a world. We're one world of humanity. We're not only destroying this earth, but we can't even accept that we all have a life of existence. You cannot help who is born. However they're born, you cannot help that. So why not embrace the fact of developing every way we can that everyone should have an opportunity to live? Why is that so hard? Why is it so difficult? Because you have greed. Okay, you want to make more money? Here's a great way to make more money. Build an infrastructure for every type of human. Tax it. Do whatever you have to do to make it easier. In every part of the world. Well, that's not easy because we're so few. No, you're not. No, you're not. Yeah, we make up 0.85%. Like, I mean, such a small 0.085% of our population is little people alone. And with that, there are still the abilities, because what, 1 in 40, 1 in 60, 1 in 80,000 have a certain type of dwarfism born by average sized people. And you know it's going to happen. Here's the one thing that we're not going to escape. The genetic gene of dwarfism is never going to go away, no matter how many ways you want to cure it, growth hormone it, or anything. It's not going to go away. So if we're going to sit here and talk about solutions of humanity, then every organization should be going on that path. They should be sitting here working on those solutions for humanity in the community. You know, this is why I told you guys to think about what you're investing in. I told you all to look at what you're investing in. Look at what you're paying for and what are you getting out of it. What are you, seriously, I mean, what are you getting out of it? We need to focus on the countries that are seriously struggling. How many of you could tell me at least 4 countries that are really, really struggling? I mean, how many of you have gotten a message from a little person in a different country who has said, please help, please help, please help. They will not help me here. I need money. Okay. Do you know what $20 in U.S. American money is to them? That's a crap ton of money. That's like 3 months worth of food and getting clothes in some countries. And in other countries, that's like 6 months worth of food. Like even $40, that could take care of their rent. That could take care of their clothes. That could take care of their kids getting food. Okay? So why are we not doing these things? We know that there are dwarves, little people, people with disabilities that are struggling in other countries. You see these commercials about starving kids. You don't see little people in that. Ever do you see that. You see kids with cleft palates and normal-sized people that are starving. But never do you ever see those that are wanting to do that. You know why? Because those countries want it hidden. They don't want anything out of that coming out. They don't want anyone knowing of the treatment that's upon that. They have these little laws, but you know how many laws are broken there? In these countries that don't give a crap? They literally will portray and fake that they're okay with it. Like in China, 2 villages alone are still enslaving little people, and they're saying, oh, no. They don't live there. You're right. They don't live there. They're forced to pretend that they live there, and then they have to go behind the little entertainment village of the park. It's an amusement park, and then they have to go behind it, and they live in wooden shacks. In the trees, no plumbing, no appliances. That's where they live. They do. And we're okay with that? There's several other countries that are doing the same thing. And guess what? These little people are still slaves. So guess what? Slaves still exist. But only with us. And China is denying it. But yet these little people keep writing and messaging, please help us get out of here. They're not even supposed to be on the internet. And if they get caught, they could literally be killed for it. Literally. Do you hear about that? Do any of you hear about that? Do any of you know that that exists? No, because you're not doing your research. You're not doing any kind of research. You're not looking into what is going on. You'll see YouTube videos about certain things, but that's all you'll see. You're not going to see anything else outside of that. Did you know that there are literally 4 different places where little people had an entertainment village here in the United States? Did you know that? And guess what? It doesn't exist. Not anymore. There's still one that's run down, and they were forced to live there. Do you hear about that? No. You don't. There are little people that literally have to live on the outsides of the cities. You know why? Because they don't want to, the average sized community does not want to put up with having to help them because they feel that they're a nuisance and in the way of their agendas, of what they've got to do. Come on, people. This is what I'm talking about. Why are we not building homes for them? Why are we not putting funds together? I can't do this alone. I can't. I wish I could. But this is not, you guys are cozy and comfortable here in America, the United Kingdom, and in Canada and Australia. You're freaking cozy as hell. But what about the other ones? Humanitarian rights go for all, not just in your country. They don't. And that's my problem. So you hate me because I speak out. You hate me because I talk about it. You like, we've got to shut him up. So you send me death threats. You send death threats to my daughter, telling me that we don't need to be talking about this. Yes, we do. I would rather ruin your plans of making money off yourselves and start saying, hey, do something about it. You know, stop charging people who are very poor in other countries who just want to come to one of your conventions for a letter just to say we would like to invite them. What's going to cost you money to send a simple email over to their government? Literally. You could send a letter digitally to the embassy. That's going to cost them $40 of money they can't spend? Come on. You're already charging them for a membership when they don't even live in the United States or other places up on the other side of the waters. I mean, come on, this is ridiculous. We need to start looking at how we can really help out. And people here in America, little people, I don't care what you think of me. Seriously, use your brain for a minute and think about what's going on. You're talking about, well, they're calling me a midget. Do you really think that's the worst thing going on? Our discrimination, yeah, it's pretty bad, but it's not that bad here in America. We just have people that are ignorant and stupid that we can educate. If we start putting it in the school systems and in the homes easier. More books. But do you really think that what's going on here in the United States and Canada and in the United Kingdom is as bad? No. That's what I don't get. We're worried about a word called midget. Midget is a word that is never going to go away. So educate on how to deplete the word. If we could deplete cash into a credit card and we could deplete other things of major past, then we could deplete that. It's all about how much you decide to invest into it. But if you do it in a temperamental negative format, you're never going to get anywhere. You've got 60 years invested with lots and lots of people's money. So where's it at? Where is this sign of new life? Because of the TV shows? TV shows are only doing a little bit. Not everybody watches TV. Not everybody can afford cable. So you're still going to have ignorance. So put it in the homes, put it in there. Now, outside of that, what are we working on the outside of the countries? Well, we're giving information. We're telling these countries that there are little people here and there's little people there and we need to do something. Okay, well, what I don't get is you have an international organizations committee, and this international organizations committee, I have literally looked at and seen squat of any kind of an approach of updates. I've not seen anything out of this international little people organization committee that you guys have of any kind of changes or things that have improved for those in those kind of countries. None. None. None at all. I've actually been speaking to two princes that live in two different areas of the world, and I'm not going to tell you where that's at for a purpose because, one, it's a respectful, confidential conversation. Two, the insight that I'm getting from these guys and the fact of what they're telling me, we are starting to learn how to communicate. But it's more than that. They know that there's a rise of people that are going to come. But the rise of people that can come is up to all of us. You have the ability to seriously say, okay, I know that I'm blessed here in America. I know that I'm blessed in Canada. I know that I'm blessed in Australia. And I know that I'm blessed in the United Kingdom. You know that. So now we have to do something else. We need to start really helping out the other ones. We do. I mean, we could start by building homes. We could start by finding ways that can create jobs in those areas. I mean, shit, I'm not even a president of any kind of government. But if I was, the first thing I'd want to do is act upon those that are disabled in 2 seconds. And these are things that you could do. You have a voice. You have the ability. Okay, let me ask you a question. If you've got a group of little people that live in a very third world country and our dollar bill is like massively explosive, much bigger, could you build a community for them? Hmm? Could you take a single mom who is a little person who literally has nothing, and her and that kid, which I know of a couple like this, because they've not only begged me for help and try to send them as much money as I can, but they actually even asked to marry me, even though she's up there, down right over there. Like, I know you have wife, but can you please rescue me? Can't do that. But these are the things that I'm talking about. Our dollar is so much more. So why are we not investing on saving these dwarves, these little people, these people with disabilities? Hmm? We're capable of doing it. We have the ability of doing something different, but we're cozy, we're comfortable right here. Don't get me wrong, I love where I live, but I would love for every person to have that equality of life. Every little person or every single individual human deserves that quality of life. Everyone does. Blacks, whites, Asians, European, Indian, Native Americans, every single person deserves that type of living. But at the same time, though, when it comes to humanity, the treatment of people like us, we're really blessed over here. And we're concerned about a word. We're concerned about a phone coming out and somebody recording us. Sasha, if I could afford that, I would. That takes a crap ton of money. A lot. A lot. And not only that, but I have to travel over to all these areas and get enough documentation for it. Trust me, that's why I'm saying these other ones, they've got the money. They could do that easily. They'll never see it. Because as long as people live in those cozy little lives in their community and organizations, they're not. That's why I'm trying to get the funds raised for it right now so that way I can. And but it takes quite a bit. It does. It takes quite a bit. And, we're building a team right now. And, I've spoken to producers in LA. We've talked about certain things. And it's funny. Most of these producers, which are quite pathetic, unless it has a major drama in it, or they're not dancing dwarves, or something, or it doesn't have some kind of comical relief to it, they don't have any interest in it. A lot of them. Now, there are some that do, but then as soon as it hits the networks, they're like, well, what is that going to go? But we have one, and it's one of the most famous companies in the entire world that deals with world issues that I am working on trying to get this established. And if we get it established, great. I mean, it'll be something that we can work on really hard. But at the same time, though, we've had plenty of time to make these establishments already. We've had plenty of time to do something and make it more aware. I mean, that alone would have done something years and years and years and years ago. No, Sasha, we haven't talked about this before, honestly. I don't think that we've talked about this before in regards to. I mean, I know that we've discussed things, but as far as when it comes to what we're doing like that, I'm really I really want to see every little person come together for once. It was kind of funny because when we did this thing about Little People of the World has no membership fee, it's all free for life, so many people got pissed off. And I was like, why? It doesn't hurt you. I'm like, well, that doesn't make sense. Why would you do something for free? Because you don't need to pay for something that you're not getting a benefit out of? So now here we are, 4 years later, almost. Just a couple days from now, it'll be 4 years. And whoa, that's weird. I don't know. I hope the next part of that deja vu is good then. But 4 years, and I've watched to see many things be more negative than positive, which is stupid and ridiculous. And we're able to do something, guys. So LP UK, LP Australia, Little People of Canada, you can be upset. You can have your committee and communicate and boycott me. You can do what you want to, but I'll call that out in 2 seconds. I will. And I don't mind. Because my thing is that we need to start helping others that really need help. I mean, why is that such a negative thing? Seriously. I mean, I do have a couple of things. I mean, I have a couple of interviews with Fox, and I have one with CNN coming up. So hopefully that'll work on a level that, oh, trust me, I will be calling out quite a bit of stuff. We've got the statistics. We've even got. Here's the bad part that really upsets me. We have emails from our medical survey and from our world survey that we've done since the very beginning that literally have told us about this organization does not want to help us unless we do this. This organization says they cannot help because they don't have the ability. This organization will not help us or speak to our government unless we pay this. Yeah. And we've got tons of them. I mean, hundreds of these. And you know, it's really sad. But my thing is that I think as a community, as a whole in the world, there's roughly now, from what I've gathered, like about almost, we're getting close to 1 million. And I mean, probably the next year we'll have close to 1 million, as long as we're not getting slaughtered off in certain countries and we're not hidden. And that's the other part is if we're not hidden, we can know. We can know who's living. We can know who to help. And you can't give this little crock of crap stuff. Well, we can't help them if those countries won't let us in. That's crap. I've been invited to 4 that are having major problems because they want to know exactly what we could do, because they know we're calling them out. We've literally called them out. We have journalists now that are literally helping us out to find out more information. The Pygmy tribe in Africa, absolutely the coolest thing that I've ever dealt with. And that was my first year starting this. And when I spoke to them, I'm not going to say what organization it was, but I'll say it is, well, organizations I should say. I will say this right now, that this Pygmy tribe alone reached out to 3 different individual companies. And guess what they got? Absolutely nothing of help. None. None whatsoever. And what's funny is that they're not only being researched, there wasn't just a documentary done about it, but you would think that after all of these sights and seeings and visuals that there would have been, hey, we need to help them. But what was really funny, and this is what made me more mad than anything, pygmy dwarfism is not a real dwarfism. That is the biggest crock of crap I've ever heard. If it's called pygmy dwarfism, it's dwarfism. If it's diagnosed that way because they are under the 4'10", it's dwarfism. So when I heard that they don't consider that a dwarfism, one of their letters that they got back, in particular from an organization, is that they do not recognize pygmies as little people. That this is just they called it a sign of audience description, meaning that the only reason that they're called pygmy dwarfs is because of where they live, and that is the title that they were given because they were shorter. So they're being told on a document by an organization, 3 of them, excuse me, that they are not considered little people. If their pygmy dwarfism is a real thing, and that is the description of what they have been called, and they are, because they stand under 4'10", they already are ridiculed. They have to live in certain areas. They're amongst people, but then where are they with the people? There are areas of the tribes that literally are way over here. Here's the bigger area, big people, pygmies. That's just one that was rejected 3 times for help. Why? They've been coming to me for quite a bit of time asking me for like a couple $1,000s, and I'm like, God, I wish I could do that. I really do. I wish that I could give them a couple $1,000s, because that way they can have a better life, you know, because of what they're going through. Like, they have issues with getting clothing, they have issues with getting proper food, they have issues with shoes, they have issues with the government, like, literally not doing anything. And the real bad part is do you know how many times that their areas are getting paid to show people the pygmy dwarves? Does anybody want to call that out? People are paying for a tour to go see them, to go see people living that are little. Just like they're doing in China, it's happening in Africa. They're paying to go see little people and be in awe and gawk at them. 60 years, people. One started 2018. One started 2014. And y'all don't know this exists? I've been around for 4 years now. 4 years. And the instant that Little People of the World like started, boom, 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 I started getting massive emails about organizations that don't want to help them. Okay, but you know that they're getting treated like shit. You know that they're being gawked at, and that people are paid money. People are paying money, paying freaking money to go travel to Africa and watch them. Who does that? Like, this is their investment. Their investment is this. And I'm going to keep talking about it. You would think that we'd be past this, Sash, but we're not. Because whatever makes money for an organization or a country like this, they'll do it. Whatever makes them lose money, they won't do it. And I wish that, honestly, if I had the ability, the money, like, you know, we're working on a legality thing right now with the federal government in regards to, hey, how can we do more? Yeah, they should just put us with that. Why don't they just do that? Like, why don't you, hey, you know what, we've got a new thing. Hunt pygmy dwarves. You can't really kill them, but we'll give you paintball guns, and you pay us $500, and if you hit one, you get to take a picture with them. I mean, they're coming, taking a tour in China where they do this, and then they deny it. And then you can go to Africa, and they do that, and they deny it. But there's documented proof on video. There's literal papers about it. And here's the great part. Did you know this? The pygmy tribes that are being displayed for fun in tours, like a safari, all the money that's getting paid for them to be visualized and seen and go visit their little huts, guess how much they get as an incentive for that? Nothing. Nothing. They get nothing for it. What do you think the little people over in China make? Or in the other Asian countries that are being shown off for entertainment? Do you know what they make? They make nothing. They barely have a life. The people will make their clothing for them to live and entertain, but that fancy material and stuff that they're making for them is literally just for the show. Have you ever seen what they look like after the show? When they get out of all that stuff? Have any of you ever sat there and watched them walk behind? Here's what they won't do in the videos. But there is proof of it. I have seen it. But if you watch them after they have to do this entertainment show and pretend that they're doing dances, and then they do cultural dances from the history, But guess what they're not allowed to do? They're never allowed to dance with average height people in regards to this culture dance. They can only do it with their own kind. They are not allowed to be a part of it. But yet, when they do these concrete, it looks like it's a Smurf village. Literally. But they've got these Smurf villages for little people in China. And then right behind this whole entire amusement park. The entire amusement park. They live in the woods with these shacks. Some don't even have a shack. Some of them have those little hut sleeping things and a fire pit. That's it. That's it. That's all they have. So, what are they doing for them in the winter? What are they doing for them in any other point to it? These are the issues that need to be really addressed. You are blessed here in America. You are blessed in Canada. You are blessed in the United Kingdom. You are blessed in New Zealand. You are blessed in Australia. They are not blessed in China and in Africa, in the Middle East, and in other countries. They are not. They are not treated fairly as human beings. Got it. I will say this. I'm not going to ask for anybody's money, but if you guys want to make a difference, anybody that knows me, help me start with one place. Like, I would really, really love to seriously help out people. That's what I want to do. That's what this is about. I've been boycotted before about what I do and call it out, but I don't care. I just don't care anymore about me saying anything. And you can criticize the fact of my beliefs. You can criticize me for saying, you know what, he shouldn't be talking about LPA that way. Why not? What are you benefiting out of it? You pay $55 a month, and what are you getting out of it? What are you seriously getting out of it? A free freaking magazine and then paying thousands of dollars? What are you getting in the UK? What are we doing for other little people that are really in need of this? What? What are we really doing? You know, I have one more step to get something done. And when it gets done, all I want to do is focus on that. And you should too. Every little person matters. Everyone. I have hunted down, and here's the thing that I've seen. I've been hunting down organizations, and I look at websites and everything. And on certain websites, guess what I find? Do you know how many organizations actually exist in Little People? Guess how many are listed? Only the ones that have paid and are able to be big enough are considered to be on that list. Not with us. I look for every single Little People organization, committee I can. And that's why that website exists. To say, hey, look at what's out there. And then guess what they can do? They can click on those sites. They can click and find them and say, all right, I want to read, I want to research this. What do they need? What's going on over there? They can find out for themselves. And that's what we're getting ready to do. We're getting ready to do a new project here soon of something of an executive, huge thing. Not executive, sorry. I'm thinking ahead of what I was going to say. Something that really, really has been devastatingly needed for years. So, if you're tired of seeing enslaved little people, prized little people, hey, I'm gonna pay to go see pygmy people and tribes. So I get to fly to Africa, pay for the safari. Oh, I guess it's included. Yeah. You need to do your work. Anyways, we need to start focusing on what really matters. My name's David Brashears, and I am the founder, and I am the president, and I am damn well glad what I do. And I am not ashamed of calling out. I'm not ashamed of showing what's going on, and neither should you be. Instead, what you should be doing, in fact, is literally saying, hey, we've got to make a difference in every corner. Again, my name's David Brashears, Little People of the World. I love you all. You want to know more? You want to be a part? You want to start fighting the good fight for what it is? You want to stop losing your money and not being benefited? Do something about it. Start thinking about what we could do to change. Love you guys.